affected me for some time. And then what that taught me was, it's okay to be open-hearted and kind and naive and sort of help people without any sort of expectation in mind, but to a certain extent. So now I didn't sort of stop doing that. I'm still open. I'm always giving value first. But it sort of stops to a certain extent where I'm like, dude, like I'm just giving here, and nothing is sort of coming back. It's not reciprocated. It's time to buy. And that's like that person's gone. And that has been really, really helpful. Yeah.
How you guys doing? Welcome to Young, Clever, and Wealthy, where I interview the movers and shakers that decided to live an extraordinary life so you can learn how to live on your own terms. Today's guest is Andy Mai. Welcome.
Hey guys, really appreciate you guys having me. I'm really excited.
Thank you so much for coming. Andy, you have so many things going on with studying.com and your success story, from from basically nothing to making hundreds of thousands with e-commerce. Please, if you can, introduce yourself and tell the audience a little bit more of what you do.
Awesome. So my name is Andy Mai. I'm currently 22 years old. I'm turning 23 this year. I've sort of right now I'm focused on my education company, studying.com, where we sort of teach people e-commerce marketing, Facebook ads, Google ads, and those are sort of the topics that we're focused on at the moment. My sort of full-time sort of job is, hiring, building out the development team, and really building a sort of education platform that is really consumer-centric, where, we have rankings and levels. You watch videos, you gain XP, you gain tokens. There's sort of milestones that you have to reach before you can get to the next module to make sure that you really apply each step to really make sure that you guys can get results. So that's sort of what I've been focused on full time. How I got to here is over the last, 4, 5, 6 years, I did everything from buying and selling clothing to flipping in-game sort of virtual sort of currency and virtual goods on like Steam and trading sort of CSGO skins
What
to
what
like
what
drop
game? What game there? Or literal intermission for Steam.
CSGO, Counter-Strike Go.
Oh, there you go. Okay, gotcha. So always
Also
have fun.
played,
Keep going.
yeah, and then when I was way younger, I played this game called Maplestory. It was like this online RPG, and I traded a lot. I was learning how to merch and buy low, sell high. Did drop shipping, did pretty well on that. That was a pretty hard journey because everything I did previously worked out pretty well. It had a sort of shorter learning curve, but drop shipping took me much, much longer to figure out. So that was a pretty challenging period. And I think I got into drop shipping when I was 18. So that's 4 years ago now. And then I did YouTube and started teaching people, giving free value on YouTube. And that's sort of how everything's led up to studying.com today.
Wow, awesome. Well, I love that because I was going to ask you how did it start for you. You kind of told us a little bit of that too. My question though is also like, were you always an entrepreneur? You could say across your life, or that wasn't the case.
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting question. Like I've always tried to think of this because, I was brought up with a single parent. My dad sort of, my parents split up when I was in grade two. So I was like 7, 8, 9 years old
Hmm.
by then. And I remember my first time trying to make money was I bought this packet of Redskins. It's sort of like a lolly. It's like a packet, it had probably like 24 pieces. It cost $2 for the whole packet. And with the 24 pieces, I was going to sell them 50 cents each at school. And the thing that triggered me to do that was because I wanted money. I didn't have money. I saw all my friends go to the canteen and buy popsicles, chips,
Mm.
ice creams, and I didn't have money to buy that. So I wanted money. And that was like the first catalyst, I think. And then I think the need and drive for money turned me into an entrepreneur and sort of taught me how to troubleshoot things. And then the sort of thrill and excitement when you do get a sale and you sort of turn a $2 packet of Redskin into $10, that thrill really hooked me in. And then I guess I turned into an entrepreneur. I don't think I was born as an entrepreneur. But yeah, well, what's your thoughts?
Uh, yeah. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Did you ask me something? Sorry.
Yeah, I was like, what's your thoughts on if do you think people are born as entrepreneurs or do you
Oh,
think they become entrepreneurs or something that you can learn and pick up?
yeah. Good question. I think for me it was very similar to you, basically, where as a kid flipping stuff, right? I think from what I've seen, it's pretty across the board. As long as you're true to yourself. I think there is like different levels of entrepreneurship. Like there's extreme levels of entrepreneurship, versus like people who are have entrepreneurial, skills and stuff like that. But that's pretty cool. My next question for you is, what are like some three things, three habits, three books could it be that accelerated your way to into success?
First thing was when I really was, so I sort of worked in a startup in America for 8 months and I came back to Australia. I lost my visa because I was traveling back and forth on a tourist visa. And I started with nothing. Like I spent 8 months and I think I probably made 50, probably 30 to 50 grand in profit from drop shipping when I was 18, spent it all in America. And when I came back to Australia, I had nothing. I had no friends. I had to start from scratch. And the thing that really helped me get back up and going was affirmations. Like I was following Sam Ovens and he sort of taught, like there was this, he had this affirmation booklet where you sort of have all your goals, you have like a vision board, you have things that you read out every morning. And I did that every single day for like a year and a half. And
Wow.
that really helped me just like push at a much, much faster rate. So that's the first thing. The second thing is in 2021, I've been on a journey to like figure out myself as a person, who I am, the things I like, the types of people I want around me, how I speak and how I conduct myself. And when I'm truly myself, I'm sort of using less energy and trying to figure out myself. And that has been really, really important. So that's the second thing. I think the third thing is patience, being able to
Interesting.
sort of see that everything's a long-term game, take
Mhm.
things slow and steady, and that's something I'm still working on till this day. I think patience is something that I need to get much, much better at, because with patience, then that allows you to really enjoy the journey and live life and sort of just be grateful.
Wow, awesome. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Um, yeah, patience, it's something that it's not very predicated in today's world, where everything you got to get everything now. And so I'm very glad that you said that. And of course, we are all working to, work, just get more patient. Things take time, etc., etc. But that's amazing. Which leads me to my next question, and you kind of touched it a little bit, but how has a failure or maybe apparent failure set you up for later success?
One thing that was a failure was I remember there was this person I was sort of out of my good heart, I was just teaching him for free. He was one of my first clients. And I helped him get a lot of success in dropshipping. And when I came in turn and asked, hey, like, you're doing way better than I am. Could you show me what you're doing? He sort of blew me off. And
Well,
that really like hurt me at the time. I was like, damn, like I put in so much time. I got this person for free. He hasn't really like, put on his end of the bargain. When I asked for help, he just sort of blew me off. Um, and that affected me for some time. And then what that taught me was it's okay to be open-hearted and kind and naive and sort of help people without any sort of expectation in mind, but to a certain extent. So
hmm,
now I didn't sort of stop doing that. I'm still open. I'm always giving value first. But it sort of stops to a certain extent where I'm like, dude, like I'm just giving here, and nothing is sort of coming back. It's not reciprocated. It's time to like, buy. And that's like that person's gone. And that has been really, really helpful. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. It's so funny. Basically, last. Oh, I lost your camera for a sec.
Sorry, I think disconnected. It's back now.
Okay, so okay, I'm gonna restart. That's Andy. That's so funny because my I talked with my coach like a week ago about this same thing. So funny because I don't know, like we are kind people. We want to always give, but a lot of times you gotta know how when to stop, and because your time, your time, people in your situation, in our situation, your time is worth money. So and sometimes of course, great, you're awesome, you're an awesome person, but your time is worth money. You might as well spend it with people that reciprocate, or there's some fruit to it. So thanks so much for sharing that. That's so cool. Another question is, are there any quotes or sayings that you live by in your daily life?
I used to really like Steve Jobs' quote, where live every day as if it was your last day. But I'm a real big fan of Elon Musk, and I sort of listen to a lot of it. I think I've listened to every single one of his podcasts, and
Wow.
I think I want to go through it again. But he's all about creating the most value for the customers and really just creating the best product possible where you don't need marketing. The marketing becomes your customer. And that's something that I really try to remind myself, because it's pretty easy when you hear everyone talk about marketing. And then, I've been in the Facebook ads, I've scaled products, 10, 30K days, and marketing seems to be the best way. But then, in dropshipping, you scale up to 30K and it goes back to zero after the product dies out. But when you have a strong, strong product, it sort of grows slowly, but then it grows exponentially. And that's something I have to really wrap myself around, because it's hard to build a good product, a product that people want to tell other people and bring into. So that's sort of, Elon Musk and his sort of consumer centric mindset.
Love that. Yeah. Yeah. Nowadays, it's so easy to go the quick route, and usually the quick route, basically hard, doing the hard thing is gonna get you the great life. The easy thing is gonna get you the easy results, or not worthy the results. I love that. Um, Andy, what's one of the best or most worthwhile investments you've ever made? It could be like invested of money, time, energy.
Probably time into learning. Sort of like, I read a lot of books. I've bought books on how to read faster because I didn't know how to read. Like I was reading one word at a time, and I learned that you should take snapshots, and then and then I was able to increase my reading speed. And that, $30 textbook and exercise book, like it was weird. I was back in high school, I was doing exercises, I was using lines, and I learned how to read faster. And it took me say 2, 3 months to get through that exercise book, $30, and now I have a skill that I can use for the rest of my life. And I'm sort of doing that with everything. Like recently, I've been learning a lot about crypto, Bitcoin, NFTs, and I've been really getting into like Bitcoin mining and learning about how that works. And yes, over the last 3 weeks, I've been distracted, but the knowledge I've learned is going to stick with me for the lifetime. So in the micro, it's like, damn, like I should, this 3 weeks, I should have been focused on building a better product and a better experience for my customer. But it's okay. I learned something that it's probably going to be valuable later on.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, can you maybe you mentioned it and I didn't notice. What was that resource that helped you read faster?
It was a textbook. It was called How to Read Faster.
Oh, okay,
And
okay.
the textbook was like a school textbook type of style with exercises and homework. And that's sort of what helped me read faster.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you for that. Andy, in the last 5 years, what new belief, behavior, or habit has most improved your life?
I think the biggest thing was learning and figuring out who I am as a person. And that journey is like really hard. I think it's different for everyone. Like, I don't think I can pinpoint it to a habit that led me to sort of doing this, but I think maybe the habit of just really thinking, the habit of really trying to be self-aware and do different things and see, like the habit of self-analyzing your emotions. So if you do something, if you hang out with a person, am I having a good time and am I happy spending time with this person? Or is it draining and I feel exhausted? So the self-awareness, I think that's probably the habit that has helped me the most.
Yeah, yeah, that's so, yeah, that's so relatable. And usually happens after, like after you're with these people, what, just doing that self-analysis. What am I getting out of the relationship? How am I feeling? That's super powerful. I think people listening, if they just did that exercise with, all the relationships they're currently having, I'm sure they can, improve by taking some people out, and of course adding some people that grow their energy. So
Exactly. And then on that topic, here's sort of like a formula that I spent a lot of time thinking about and I've sort of put together. So the types of people that I want in my life have to be either any one of these three criteria. It has to only be one. It doesn't have to be all three. So the third one is people who I find interesting. The second one is people who find me interesting. And the first one is people just have my back and will be there no matter what. The stuff like family. So these would be the three criterias. Now it sounds pretty simple and pretty like you can't, create your friendship around three criterias. So let me reword it. Would you want to spend time with someone who you don't find interesting, doesn't find you interesting, and doesn't have your back?
I like that a lot. Wow. Wow. I mean, like, I want everyone listening to ask themselves that right now. Like, think of people and ask yourself those questions. Because I'm thinking of people. I'm thinking of people, Um, and that's great. If they don't have your back and if they don't find you interesting, and of course, sometimes, I mean, if you're a beginner, you're just starting in this world, of course, no one is going to find you interesting. You got to do the work. But um, but it's totally, yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that. Great 3 points. Great 3 points.
And then I have version two of it, but then it goes in depth. So, when we're going back to habits, I like to think about things and sort of formulate it and create laws and write it down. And then it allows me to then share it with other people. And then once I get people's sort of affirmations on it, then it sort of even solidifies sort of my thought. And that's sort of what I've been working on 2022.
Yeah, love that. Love that. Love that. When you feel overwhelmed or unfocused or maybe have lost focus temporarily, what do you do? Like, what kind of questions you ask yourself?
Got it. So I have a list of preventions that I have to apply. It's a prevention list. So I'm actually going to do it this morning because this week has been pretty sort of all over the place. But after this interview, I'm going to uninstall YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Plex, Discord, Twitter from my phone. I'm going to unplug my TV. I'm going to turn back on the YouTube blocker that's on my Chrome. I'll turn back on my 8:30 p.m. alarm. I remind myself to always use timers for meetings, no phone when I'm in the shower, no music while working, do my morning routine before everything else, and don't skip my breaks. So that's something that I've sort of listed out that I'm going to do right after this interview because the last 2 days I've been just watching TV. I was watching, Undercover Billionaire by Grant Cardone, and I spent like 4 hours last night watching that. And before that, I downloaded Two and a Half Men, and I've been rewatching that series, and that has been super fun. Rewatching it at older age, and I can sort of understand all the jokes. It's been really funny. And then before that, I was just like all over trying to figure out Bitcoin mining and reset up my internet. So I've just been really, really scattered, and now I know I'm scattered and distracted. I have to go ahead and apply the preventions, and it sort of brings me back to baseline.
Hmm. Totally. Yeah, Andy, thank you for sharing. You know what? I think people should take a look at Undercover Billionaire, especially the Grant Cardone version. So inspiring. So inspiring. 90 days, you got a goal, and it's pretty cool what happens. We're not gonna do spoilers, but wow, how inspiring is that?
Yeah, I was watching. I have 1 hour left of it. I was like a YouTube 5.5 hour sort of
Oh,
confirmation just to
you
correct I
haven't
don't
finished it?
start.
Oh, okay. But go ahead, go ahead.
So I'm 4 hours in, so I'm up to day 89. So I'm really, really excited for the finale and everyone's reaction and everything. So I'm really, really excited to finish that off. But yeah, like watching that, like, man, I was like, this is tough. Like, I don't think I'll be able to do that. I think I don't have the knowledge and skill set to make $1 million in 90 days yet. Um, but it's so inspiring to see how he sort of thinks so big. And that's sort of what I learned from it. It's like, okay, when times get tough, I just need to think bigger. Like I can't be focused on getting the, one, two, three, $5,000 client one time at a time. I need to think bigger. I need to think, how do I get like 100 people? How do I get like bigger clients? How do I help more people? Um, and that's sort of what I took away from it.
Wow. Yeah, so cool. Yeah. Yeah, pretty similar. I think it's totally something you guys should take a look at. Um, and then for for is there a book or a resource? Maybe is that that thing you showed me? Is there a book that you typically give to people?
Interesting. How to win friends and influence people. I think that's like a book that I gift quite a lot. I think it sort of really taught me the importance of listening, just how to really start being someone that people want around. And I think that was like a huge book that helped me a lot, and I sort of give that as a gift all the time.
Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, I don't know if it's here, but yeah, it's one of my top three for sure. That's an awesome book. Perfect. So tell people more about studying.com and what you do here. I know you talked about it a little bit on the beginning, but yeah, please tell us more about that.
Yeah, at the moment, we're sort of focused on teaching people how to create their own drop shipping e-commerce store. We show them everything from A to Z. We have this sort of multivariated learning system where when we show you product research and we show you strategy one, we do it 5 times with 5 different people from all over the world. So if you watch all 5 episodes, you pretty much know how to do strategy one product research. So it's not just me showing you how I do it one time. So imagine that with every single step, how to create a domain name, how to rate products, how to do Facebook ads. Every single step is done multiple times. Like for product research, I think there's like 55 episodes of me doing product research analysis. So you watch me rate 1,000 products so that, because it's pretty hard. Like, how do you build the eye to look at which product is worth selling? So my solution was, okay, maybe I just give students, 50 plus episodes of me rating the products. And by the time they watch that, they sort of pick up my eye.
Mm.
So that's what we focus on. And then so the next version, we have our own portal. We've developed it. It's sort of like facebook.com, but for education. We have our own community in the group. And the next thing we're working on is creating milestones. We've sort of really, I've been learning how to play piano. And I've been using this app called Simple Piano. And it's been super easy to learn piano because of that app. So I restructured the program to look like that, where there's circles and there's progress bars, and you have to do one step before you can get to the next one. It's sort of laid out in sort of a Duolingo way as well. I sort of studied Duolingo because I wanted to see how Duolingo teaches people different languages. So there's sort of like a skill tree where there's like different circles and it goes down. So I've been really, really focused on just creating the best product that would that would help our customers have the best shot to get results.
That's amazing. Yeah, that's amazing. I like how you break things down and then apply it for yourself. That's a pretty cool thing that I'm noticing from talking to you. And yes, and just a follow-up question, is studying.com uh, like a software platform that then also has the training? Is that how you position it?
Right now, it's sort of the membership portal is sort of what we've built, and it has a training within the membership portal. Long-term goal, as sort of time goes on, we want to sort of have like right now, people can come on, become an instructor, and then sort of upload their own programs.
Hmm.
So that's the long-term goal where it can become sort of a platform where people come to share knowledge and information. And right now, every minute you spend watching, you get 0.01 studying coins. And that's, right now there isn't any utility or usage for the coins, but right now it's actually surprisingly incentivizing people to study and they can climb the leaderboard and who has the most studying coins. But eventually I'd love to use that as like a redemption. You can use that to buy other courses, or you can use that to, bid on different things I might give away. Let's say I want to give away a sort of a yacht party. Top 10 people that bid on it, and they can use their studying coins to bid and get their yacht party. So that's something that, a lot of things working on now, but they're probably going to come into play later on in the future.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing, Andy. That's pretty cool. Any last words that you would like to leave with the people listening that are on their way to young, clever, and wealthy?
I think one piece of advice was when I was personally doing drop shipping and I was going through that 6 month period of testing, I was losing $50 every day with like I couldn't see the end of the tunnel. And I just kept telling myself that if I just keep at this every day, and if I don't give up, something has to work. And I sort of been using that sort of with, my day to day, like every day is going to be better. I just need to stay alive. I just need to stay positive. I need to just try to keep pushing forward because something is eventually going to work out. And usually sometimes something always does. So like, for example, over the last 3 years, I've been really trying to crack cold traffic for my education company. And that's been so hard. Like there's a reason why there's probably only 3 or 4 sort of gurus that you see all the time. Like Ty Lopez doesn't even run ads anymore. Sam Others doesn't, but you still see like Tanner Chedester, you still see Kevin David. And like that's sort of it. There's a few other people, but it's really, really difficult to crack cold traffic. And I've gotten really, really close. And it's been this 3 year journey. And I'm starting to realize that each of these journeys is going to take longer and longer. Like it took me 6 months to figure out drop shipping. It's probably going to take me like 3 years to really crack cold traffic. I can just spend $10,000 a day and make $20,000 a day and just scale that up to the moon. And probably the next thing I work on is going to take 10 years. And that's what I'm noticing with a lot of these bigger entrepreneurs like Jeff Bezos, like when he set up Amazon Prime TV, like people don't know, but Amazon Prime TV, that's been going on for like 8 years now. And it still hasn't gotten to the point where he wants it to. Elon Musk, a lot of his projects, like Tesla's only popping off now, but it's been like, 20 years.
Yeah.
And that's sort of why I'm learning that it's so difficult. Like imagine there's this 20-year project and you're like year 5 in, like it's hard to like not give up. And I think that's something I'm really trying to work on. But I think, just keep pushing. And if you stay alive and you haven't given up, things are going to work out.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you, Andy. Where can people go and find you if they want to learn more about you?
Yeah, feel free to just Google Andy Mai and you'll be able to find everything from there. You can find my YouTube, my Instagram, my LinkedIn. You can check out studying.com. But yeah, I would love for you guys to check out my content. I sort of create content like this every day. And I'd love for you guys to hear my thoughts and then me document my journey on YouTube every day.
I love it. I love it. Well, Andy, thank you so much for being here in the show, and we'll see each other and you guys soon.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate you having me. Great questions, Armin. Yeah, and this was a blast.